further ado, this is Brooke, and we are so grateful that you are here.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Brooke. Thank you both so much for having me here tonight, and thank you all for showing up. I know it's hard in our busy lives to take out time to do this type of work. So I just want to honor you because it is important for us to be in community and be in fellowship. I was very honored to be asked to speak here this evening and be here with you. I was at my workout class this morning, and that's when I really feel the closest to the Lord because I can't check my phone and nobody's pulling on me and saying, Mom, Mom, Mom. My husband's not texting me for an update, or my dogs aren't barking at someone walking down the street. So what he told me today is I don't want to preach at you tonight. I really want you to get deeper with one another. I know that as we do these events, we can sometimes perform, put on masks, not want to share because maybe there's shame. And I really I love going deeper. Who doesn't like networking events where you're like shooting the poop? You're really, you know what I'm saying? Like passing a card.
Do you like them or not like them?
Not like them. They're very surface level, and I don't work that way. So we're not going to be like that. I'm going to ask you guys to go a little bit deeper tonight, but a little bit about me and what's brought me here. I didn't find Jesus until I was 36. I was very far removed from the Lord. Anybody been on that walk before? I didn't grow up with Jesus in my household. I grew up in a house where my father had some Jewish heritage. His father was Jewish, but he died at an early age. My mom came from a Lutheran background, but they were just like, you get to decide what you want to be. That's a loaded thing to put on a kid, right? So I was like, okay, what is that going to be? I did feel called to go to Israel, but I went on a Jewish trip. And I felt unsettled. I was just kind of going through the motions. I felt pressured because that's what my dad wanted me to do. Has anybody done the expectant parent journey? Yes, nodding some heads. And so I did that, and then I came back home and said to my parents, let's go to temple. Let's go. I was ready. I was like, let's be Jewish. And they're like, you get to go. You get to go. And I'm like, wait, I'm so confused. And then I looked at my father, I said, Dad, your mom was Catholic. In the Jewish religion, you're not even seen as being Jewish. And he's, I'm a Jew. I'm like, if you're a Jew, let's go to temple. But he fought me on that. So I was lost. I went through high school being kind of lost, like, I don't want to go by myself or with my friend's family. That just doesn't seem right. So I kind of went away from religion. And then I owned a bar, Hampton and Monaco. Anybody familiar with the Hampton and Monaco area? Hampton and Tamarack. I owned a bar there for 10 years. It was called Three Jacks. My parents owned a bar called JL Cheers for 40 years. So after college, I came home. I'm an only child, and I started working at the bar. My dad's like, just start to work here and you can find your way. And I was like, so what happened when I started working there? Anyone? Well, I took it over. So I went in, I was 26 years old. I was like, I'm living the dream. I'm 26 years old. All my friends are coming to see me. It's a drunk fest. And I went on a journey. I met someone that I married. And it was just a very destructive relationship. I decided to sign on the dotted line in 2002 in Tamarack Square. And I was like, this is going to be my future. And I signed a 20-year lease. 2 10-year options. So after 10 years, I could reassess. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tamarack now. What is it now?
That's why I said, ooh.
It's
Target.
It's a Target. So one day I walk up to the door and I see on the door and they're like, you need to be out in 20 days. After I just signed on the dotted line. So it was after 8 years of building a business there. I'd given my soul. I had gone through a very difficult relationship because when the alcohol is present and you're so far from the Lord, you don't know which way's up. And I had no direction. So I was on my knees. I lost my business, but I did find the love of my life through it. Went through a terrible divorce. Anybody been through a divorce in the room? Nobody? One. Yep, it's okay. And found the love of my life. And what's that? You want to share that?
She said, raise your hand. She said, everybody knows you're divorced. And I said, they know.
Yeah. Oh, everybody knows. Yeah, and there's no shame, and there's absolutely no shame in that. And I'll pray for you that and wherever you're at in it, because I don't know if it's amicable, but mine was not. And so I found the love of my life through my divorce, actually. I was just hanging around a lot of very toxic people, and he was the person who spoke life into me. And so lost my bar business, it was my whole entire identity, and a friend invited me to church. Anybody been invited to church and just gone kind of like with your arms crossed? Okay. And I went, and I was like, okay, I feel good about this. I'm going to come again. And then I just felt this peace over me like I've never felt. I felt the Lord's love like I've never felt before. Okay? All the shame, I was like, wow, you've been with me this whole time. So at 36, I married the love of my life. I prayed for him to come to church with me. He didn't want to. I did not force him. I was like, your walk with the Lord is your walk. I'm not going to force you. And then we started right away to get pregnant. I was 36. I was like, everybody around us was ready to start a family. And it didn't happen. Months went by, didn't happen. And after a year, it didn't happen. But the thing that happened in the year is my husband came with me to church. Does anybody remember Smoky Hill Vineyard? Smoky Hill? That's where we found the Lord. It is a school. Pastor Greg, amazing pastor, and my husband came and he gave his life to Jesus, and it was amazing. But we were still on the road of infertility, and it was very difficult because they couldn't tell us what was wrong with us. Nobody knew. So with stop drinking, don't drink caffeine, eat this, put your legs up after intimacy, right? We did it all, and nothing happened. We tried 2 IUIs, of which failed. Now, mind you, I was on the verge of bankruptcy because I'd lost my bar business. So the next thing they told me was, you should do IVF. And we said, how much is that? And they're like, $30,000, of which I did not have. And we didn't feel a call, like a clear call from the Lord to step into that. We actually heard restoration in your marriage. Because I don't know about you, and when you have something that divides you in your marriage, it can be very difficult. And it divided us because intimacy is the heart, right? And we saw it as a chore, a job, etc. So we went on a 9-year in the wait fertility walk. 9 years, I prayed every single day. I looked at the window and I said, Lord, what is our next move? And everyone in the natural would say, my mother-in-law especially, you should adopt, was the default. It's not a default. It's actually a very sacred decision between two people, and to welcome in a child is a very layered decision, as IVF's a layered decision, all the things. So in that, God called me to minister to families going through infertility. I was a leader here in Colorado for a group called Moms in the Making. I don't know if you've heard of them. And at 43, after just sitting with, my husband was like, we're not having kids, great, woohoo, we're gonna just live this great life. And I was like, I don't feel like that's the answer. And this is gonna lead into this tonight about leadership. And so, at 43 years old, looking at the window, woke up out of a dream, and God's like, you need to go back to the fertility clinic at 43. Now, mind you, we had built businesses, and God had just restored our love for one another. He is such a good father. But I was like, babe, we're going to go back. And he's like, what are you talking about? I've already released that. I've healed from that. I've grieved that we are not going to have kids. And I said, no, God's bigger than that. We're going to go. So anybody take their husband somewhere, dragging and kicking and dragging? That's what I did. And I said, we're going to go back. And they told me, my doctor said, the only way you will get pregnant is if you used egg donor IVF. And I was just in shock. Because after being told, we don't know who it is, I felt like, oh, it was me. It was me this whole time. So I prayed heavily. I said, Lord, is that your will for us? And I went to a retreat, and someone who had adopted a child said to me, does anybody get messages to them through people? God? I did. So she walked up to me and she said, Brooke, I've adopted 2 babies, but I'm going to tell you that if this is God's will, he's going to weave that baby into life in your womb. And I just knew. So drive home, bawling, crying, because my husband's like, we'll do whatever. You want to adopt? You want to do everything? You want to do whatever you want to do? And I said, not what I want to do. It's what the Lord wants, and the Lord wants us to do that. So fast forward, 45, I had my child, my miracle, through egg donor IVF, first try. Thank you. All the glory to him. And the ironic piece is, I had a business in 2020. Does anybody know Card My Yard? The signs, happy birthday. So I had that in 2020. And I was pregnant up until 8 months doing these signs in yards, okay? And I go to this gal's, I'm in her front yard. Ironically, this is how our intersection, God's so crazy that we're here. I was, okay, in my husband's truck, okay? I'm 8 months pregnant. I have a planned C-section. I'm out there, I'm just doing it. And she's like, please don't have your baby in my front lawn. And I was like, I'm gonna be good, girl, I got this. So anywho, I had him. I'm 51 now, and he's almost 6. So I just want to send the message home that sometimes the leadership has to come from you, right? Even if your spouse doesn't want it, I'm like, that is a call in our life, babe. This is what God is calling us to do. So to add a little more fun to my walk, last year I turned 50, and 2 weeks after my 50th birthday, I found a lump. And in 2024, has anybody ignored health issues in the room and just gone hard in the paint? I did that in 2024. Didn't get my mammograms. I was just like, I'm gonna go, I'm ready. I own a business, so I was just rocking and rolling. And God's like, whoa, sister, you need to pay attention to your health. So I felt the lump because of his prodding and got in. April 1st was my mammogram. Such a great anniversary. And April 4th is when I found out I had breast cancer. And by the grace of God, he led me on the other side of it. And I am cancer-free in this moment. So I feel very grateful to be here with you all tonight to share the message of the Lord and just how good he is. Isn't he so good? I own a business. I'm a business coach. I have several businesses. My husband has a metal sign business called Black Dog Metals. He felt prompted by God to create that. We make metal signs for businesses, homes, and ranches and give a percentage back to veterans, because he's a veteran, for service dogs. And end of 2024, the Lord was like, you need to create a beauty brand. And I was like, I don't know makeup. I'm still trying to figure out, I don't even know which way's up. And so I created a clean beauty brand, Faith Forward, because I was going to the gym and Red Rocks Church, Red Rocks isn't my home. I don't believe in a church home per se, but the podcast kept dropping down. It's money is the root of all evil. And I was like, Lord, I don't believe in that theology. I believe money is good in the right hands. So it kept dropping down on my phone. I'm like, I'm not listening to it. He's like, you better listen to it. Has anybody felt that? I'm like, I want to be like that disobedient little kid. I don't want to listen to you. But I listened to it. And it said, no, money is good in the right hands. That the story of Lydia, does anybody know the story of Lydia in the Bible? Lydia is much like me. She's a convert. And through her business, she made purple cloths to fund the disciples. And God's, I want you to create a business to fund disciples, send the message. So I did create a beauty brand, and I launched it at the end of 2024. And it did take me through 2025, because when you have cancer and you're going through surgeries, radiation, your business, your life halts, it stops. I don't know anybody's had and a toddler. Yeah. Throw the toddler on top of that. It's like sprinkles, rainbow sprinkles. And so I don't know, has anybody been through a health crisis in the room that stopped your life? Maybe going through it right now? It's not fun. But God blessed this business because he goes before us, right? So what I do in my coaching business is I get so fired up when people collab. Okay, when people talk about resources that they need, support that they need in their business, etc. I just love when people connect. And I'm like, you need to know this person. They can bless your life. And I say this because so many people supported us through my IVF journey because we shared it loud. I shared it loud to glorify him. And through that, so many people were pouring love into us. We were getting gifts from Australia because I was like, I'm sharing this journey very loud because it's God's work. It's not my work. It's his testimony. And I just knew. I was like, he's going to bring us our miracle after 9 years. I just know it. I just know. I'm expectant, Lord. And I have goosebumps talking about it. But my point is that the support of the community helped us through in the hardest, darkest of time. It wasn't an easy fertility journey, I will tell you. And I'm not going to get into all the layers of it from a physical standpoint, but it was really difficult. And then with my breast cancer, when I announced that I had breast cancer, so many people supported us. And I was loud about it because I was like, I know God's going to heal me. I wasn't sharing it from a victim standpoint because we aren't a victim, right? I shared it from, I know God's going to heal me through this. And if he can do it for me, he can do it for you type of thing, right? But so many people, I was getting meals, all the things. So I want you all to break out into 3. How many people do we have tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13. Let's do, 3s. And then if there's an extra, you just go, okay? Someone you don't know. Someone that you don't know.
All right.
And I think we're gonna need the lights higher so we can see. Can you guys see okay? I can't see a thing. I'm blind as a bat.
I can, but can you guys not? Do you want the lights on more?
We're gonna be doing an exercise. So if you need to see,
Well, but I was gonna say, I know you.
if someone you don't know, preferably, okay?
That's it. See, I'm so new. That's the thing. I'm
Oh, yeah. So much better.
Danielle,
So,
asking if we're able to, Danielle.
What?
She was asking if we're able to close those doors.
Yes, for sure.
okay, so you all have a sheet in front of you. And we're just gonna walk through this together, but you guys are going to walk through it with one another. Yep, so we got 3s here.
There's gonna be at least one group.
One group of 4. 4s, oh yes, 4 is better. 3 groups, okay, thank you, that's fine. Of course, look, man, that's cool. We're gonna switch it up though. Okay. We're not meant to walk this walk alone, correct? And what makes me sad, just if you look back in the Bible, it's like tribes of people were together and they're helping each other out. And if one person went down for a health issue or needed financial support, there was a tribe of people helping them. And I just feel like we've gone away. Do you feel like we've gone away from that? We're like, oh, we have to be so strong. We have to do it all ourselves. But we don't. God put us together for community, for communion together, right? So we are going to share. It's going to be raw. And whatever's shared in this room, I just pray and hope that you guys keep it here because there's some things that probably don't need to be taken out of this room because we want to honor that. I just ask that you guys do that for the person across from you. So we're going to go through discussing together.
Like I just feel like it's on top of anything. You know what I mean? Right. Like I added some more things and now I'm really like
Close some things up.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody want to share kind of something that you did, a resource that you gave to your group? Or a prayer that you're going to pray for someone in your group? What are you going to pray for? Or what happened in your group that you want to share? Does anybody want to volunteer?
We plan people to hold each other accountable for specific things. So to make a call, to make an appointment for X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
And there's a deadline assigned.
we've offered babysitting services
Yes.
for date night.
That's amazing.
Or sanity.
Okay, or sanity. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, since you shared first over here. So that's cool. Who else wants to share this table?
Yeah, kid swap type thing because we feel like it's not not always we want to get a babysitter and go out. We just want to be home alone to kind of catch up on just the day-to-day of your house and laundry.
Babysitters are expensive.
Seriously.
So expensive.
You feel
And we all
rushed,
have
like,
houses that can host
Exactly,
kids, so
and
it's
so-
like, why not?
Yeah, so that, and then kind of like coffee dates with the group and stuff like that too.
Does anybody want to share something you're going to pray for the person in the group? We can all collectively pray.
I think we're going to be praying, or I'm going to be praying for just one thing that, do you mind if I share?
I'm gonna offer you as tribute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, first was no. I said no.
She said she was praying for contentment, which I think that's something that it can be a challenge in every season, and just to know that like where God has you currently in this moment is enough. He's provided everything sufficient for you to be able to live well now and be a good leader at home now and to show up as your best, most created, worthy self now.
And although it may not be ideal for you and your circumstances, that God always has a plan.
Yes.
You may see it at the end.
And so I'm just going to be praying that over our whole group, that we can continue to just lean into God-rooted contentment, right? A knowing with Him that where you're at is not where you're always going to be. The challenges that are here in this season are not going to always be the challenges that you have. And there's good things to come. Like, there is so much life.
And there's good in the now.
Yeah, and there's good in the now.
Who wants to share from the guys' table?
So much.
They're like, we are talked out.
Sorry, they're oversharing.
We got very close here. Ricky's gonna let me borrow his jigsaw. Gary's gonna let us borrow his cap.
Dang, I should
I was at the wrong table. I love
Yes.
giving away free stuff.
Yeah. I got free hugs.
We've got free childcare. Like,
I think there's prayer around some clarity, right? There's prayer around some imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs. These are the things we're struggling with. So the enemy wants us to shove these things down. And this is where we bring them up to the light so the Lord can shine light on them and just let us know we are not alone in this, right? And so we're all feeling these types of feelings, right? We're feeling like, I'm not a good mom today. I'm not a good business owner. I'm failing at life because something didn't go the way I thought it should go. Whereas God's no. For me, I was like, I'm not fertile. But did He have a plan for me? At 43 years old, I had my child, and I was 9 years in the wait. So talking about your contentment, I had to be content in that time, although I felt like there wasn't clarity for me yet. It wasn't a closed door, right? So I want to leave you all with, it's okay to pray for the things that you do want, clarity around that. If it is a closed door, you close the door, right? Okay? It is okay to say, I'm struggling mentally. I need support. Can you watch our kids? Can you come over? My house is giving me so much anxiety, I can hardly breathe. God does not want that in our home, right? He wants peace in our home. So it's so okay to uncover the shame of the piles of crap I have. I have piles of crap that I'm like, I told my husband, I said, I need help. I'm desperate to get some help, right? I had someone in my house the other day, and I'm like, I'm embarrassed of this right now. Not from a sense of, oh, it's got to be up to a certain measure. I'm like, there are piles of stuff I haven't dealt with, and I'm not dealing with them because there's shame and there's stuff around it, and I can't give away these things. I need someone to help me give away these things. So I asked my best friend, I'm like, I need you to come help me make decisions on these things and get them out of the house because they're weighing on me. I cannot be the best mom, the best wife, and show up in my business with all this heaviness, right? So I'm just asking that you all pray for each other today. Is it okay that I pray and close out? Yeah. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this time tonight with these beautiful, God-fearing people, Lord. Lord, I just pray that you come into each one of their hearts and that you give them permission to ask for help where they need it, Lord. That they connect deeper outside of our time tonight, Lord. Lord, we are so thankful for all of the beautiful gifts that you've given them, that the gift of insight in parenting, their gift in their jobs, their gift in their skill sets, in everything that they do, Lord, that is all you, and we just glorify you in that, Lord. Lord, I just pray that you have a hand in each of their hearts as they leave tonight. And Lord, I just thank you for giving me the voice, the clarity to come in here and disciple tonight, Lord. And I just pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen. Awesome. I'm honored, and thank you guys for sharing, guys back there. I know it's hard. All right, thank you guys so much.